Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yasodhanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yasodhanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yasodhanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yasodhanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yasoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yasoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitya Guru Hariva, 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 Hariva. Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutrade Shrimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nitya Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharini Nivishesha Shanyavari Pasta Chadesada. Om Agyana Timirandasya Gananjana Salakaya Chakshu Unmiditam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangam Nangayate Garim Yat Kripa Tamaham Vande Shri Gurun Dinataranam Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Shrimati Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gaurivani Pacharane Niyavashesha Shunyavadi Pastyacha Desatarane Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So I'm very happy to be here with all of you today. Especially happy to be in the association of His Holiness Bhakti Caitanya Swami, who's a very dear friend of mine and god brother, whose association I'm always seeking, and somehow by Krishna's arrangement, He's arranged for us to be here together today. We served together in the countries of the former Soviet Union, where we both have been traveling extensively over the past, I've been for 22 years. How many years you've been going? 19 years. And our paths cross from time to time, but we don't get opportunities like this to sit together and to speak together to such a auspicious assembly of Vaishnavas like all of you who have come here today. And guests, we're assuming that there are many guests here as well, being our Sunday feast program. I just arrived 2 days ago, and but the last 2 days I was at the Govardhan Ashram in Wada, where I had the opportunity to speak to some guests, devotees and guests who had come for a spiritual retreat, a japa retreat. And we had the opportunity there to chant with devotees and to discuss the topic of appreciating the association of the holy name of the Lord. And after that retreat was over, within the next 12 hours, 2 bus loads of devotees were coming in for another retreat from Pune. So we can see that the Govardhan Ashram is very quickly developing as a very wonderful place where all of you can go for a spiritual retreat, where you can get a good full dose of Krishna consciousness by attending the morning program and staying in the facilities which have been created there. Very wonderful, wonderful facilities. I was astounded. I was there 1 year ago and it was a lot of concrete, and there were a few bricks. There were some bricks, but in the course of 1 year, how many buildings went up? About 5 of them, right? About 5 buildings went up, and very nice facilities for devotees to stay, and a wonderful big auditorium for a kirtan, and what to speak of, so many devotees who are living there, who are very eager to receive you. So, having been there for 2 days and experienced the Vaishnava hospitality in Govardhan Ashram, I strongly encourage all of you to take advantage of this wonderful facility, which is manifest over the course of the last couple of years, and sign up for a retreat, which I'm sure more of them will be coming very soon. Yes? And then I came here yesterday, heard a very nice class on Srimad Bhagavatam this morning by His Holiness Bhakti Caitanya Swami, who spoke about the demons in Krishna Lila and how Krishna rectifies them. Very purifying, especially since I'm probably one of them, although I didn't have the opportunity to take part in Krishna's Lila. Nonetheless, I still have the lingering mentality and hearing how Krishna takes care of the demoniac mentality, which He does in the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Previously, Krishna appeared Paratranaya Sarunam Vinashaya Chaduskritam, to annihilate the demons. But He has appeared in this age as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, not to kill the demons, but to kill the demoniac mentality. And that is very merciful for us, especially in this age of Kali. So we've been requested to speak a little bit about Lord Chaitanya, since Gaur Purnima is coming up in 4 days, and I believe your Sunday programs have been building up to Gaur Purnima. So I will say a few words. I won't speak long, but I'll say a little something about, hopefully about Lord Chaitanya, and about what His appearance means to us. It should be something relevant. It's very wonderful to hear that Lord Chaitanya appeared over 500 years ago, how He inundated this planet with Krishna prema, pure love for Krishna, by His kindness and by His compassion. But to hear that and how it took place 500 years ago, we should also be able to relate how that applies even today, over 500 years later, and how Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission continues by strictly following His instructions and by teaching by the example which has been set by our spiritual master and the previous acharyas. Even the Supreme Lord Himself comes in this age to teach by His example. There is a verse, Vairagya Vijja Nija Bhakti Yoga Siksharta Eka Purusha Parana Shri Krishna Chaitanya Sarira Dari Kripambodya Yastramaham Prabhajye. This verse glorifies Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Let me take shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, who has appeared in the form of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to teach real knowledge, His devotional service, and detachment from anything that does not foster Krishna consciousness. He has descended in this age. He is an ocean of transcendental, because He is an ocean of transcendental mercy. Let me surrender unto His lotus feet. This is a verse by Kavi Kanapur, I think it is, in Chaitanya Chandrodaya Nataka. Some places it's said that it's by Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, but anyways, I think it's Kavi Kanapur. And here this verse describes, as we said, that even the Lord Himself comes to teach. It is explained that previously, when 5,000 years ago, when Krishna appeared, He instructed everybody Sarvadhamam Purittaja Mamekam Sharanam Braja Ahantam Sarva Papipo Moksha Shami Mahashuchaha. To abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me, and I will deliver you from all sinful reactions. Mahasuchaha. Do not fear. So when Krishna appeared, he requested this surrender. And he taught this principle of surrender because he appeared as the Supreme Lord. Many places evidence is given. Krishna himself gives evidence. Evidence is given in the Srimad Bhagavatam, in so many places, how the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna tu Bhagavan Swayam. Srimad Bhagavatam declares, Ete Chang Sakala Pungsa, Krishna tu Bhagavan Swayam. Indrari Vyakulam Lokam Mridiyanti Yuge Yuge. That all of the incarnations described in the Bhagavatam, in that section, are either portions or plenary portions of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but Lord Shri Krishna is the original Supreme Personality of Godhead. All of them appear whenever there are disturbance created by the atheists. The Lord appears to protect the theists, his devotees. So, here in the Srimad Bhagavatam, as well as in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna himself states, Matak Parataram Nanyat Kinchidasti Dhananjaya. There's no truth superior to me. Everything rests upon me just like pearls are resting on a thread. Aham Savasya Pabhavo Matak Savam Pavartate. I am the source of the material and spiritual worlds. Everything that emanates from me, everything is emanating from me. The wise who know this perfectly, they engage in my devotional service and worship me with all of their hearts. So Krishna appeared, Ajo Pisan Aviyatma Bhutanamishwaro Pisan, in his original transcendental form as Krishna. So he instructed, surrender to me. But later, he began to think that, especially in the age of Kali, maybe I better come and teach by my example. Everybody needs an example to follow, especially in the age of Kali, where men are quarrelsome, misguided, unlucky, and above all, always disturbed. Their lives are very short. So many symptoms of Kali Yuga. Kalaya dosha nidhe raja nasti heko mahadgana. Kirtanadeva krishnasya mukta sangam param varchet. The age of Kalaya dosha nidhe. The age of Kali is an ocean of all bad faults. But it has one redeeming quality, Kirtanadeva krishnasya. But simply by chanting the names of Krishna, mukta sangam param varchet, that one can achieve perfection, liberation from this world. So, Krishna was thinking that I should come and I should teach by my example. And therefore, as described in Sri Caitanya Charitamrita by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, it is explained that the Lord was thinking that he should come again to inaugurate the congregational chanting of the holy names of the Lord. What is that verse? I forget. Where he says, I will come to inaugurate the congregational chanting of the holy names of the Lord. I will make the whole world dance in ecstasy. Charai bhava bhakti diya nachamu bhavan. I will make the whole world dance in ecstasy, realizing the ecstatic mellows, 4 ecstatic mellows of loving devotional service. Yuga Dhamma Pravartaimu Nama Sankirtan. That's it. Yuga Dharma. I shall come to inaugurate the Yuga Dharma, the Dharma, religious principle for this age of Kali Yuga. Yuga Dharma Pravataimu Nama Sankirtana, the congregational chanting of the holy names of the Lord. I will make the whole world dance in ecstasy, realizing the 4 ecstatic mellows of loving devotional service to me. And then he says that I shall appear as a devotee and I will teach devotional service by practicing it myself. Unless one practices devotional service himself, it's not possible to teach devotional service. And this is confirmed in the scriptures such as Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna explains, we quoted one verse, Yada yada hi dhammasya glani bhavati bharata, that whenever there's a predominant rise of irreligion and decline of religious practice, Krishna says, I come myself, paratranaya sadhunam vinashaya chaduskritam, in order to deliver the pious, annihilate the miscreants, re-establish the principles of religion, I advent myself again and again. So, and then Krishna also states is that I will teach religious principles by showing them myself. And if I don't practice these religious principles, then the whole world will be ruined. I will be the cause of unwanted progeny, and all living entities will be spoiled. And then it is stated, Yad yadacharati sheshtas tadarevi tirochana sayat pramanam kudute lokas tadanuvartante. That however actions are performed by great personalities and common men will follow, whatever standards they set by the exemplary acts, all the world pursues. So Krishna is saying, I have to come again and teach by my example this devotional service. And therefore, this is one of the reasons which the Lord appeared as Caitanya Mahaprabhu. Although Krishna taught surrender, but he did it in a theoretical way. He said, surrender to me. But Lord Chaitanya taught surrender by practicing it himself and showing. And therefore he appeared as a devotee. Not only did he appear as a devotee, but he was always absorbed in the mood of a devotee. Just like, what is a devotee? What is the symptom of a devotee? The symptom of a devotee is manmana bhava mad bhakto madhyajimam namaskuru. Right? As Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, my devotees always think of me, he's always worshipping me, he's always offering his homages unto me, and therefore because he's fully absorbed in me, he will come to me. This is devotee. The topmost devotee who's always thinking of Krishna, always absorbed in thoughts of Krishna, that is also described. The topmost devotee is none other than his most confidential devotee, Srimati Radharani. And therefore, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared, he appeared in the mood of the topmost devotee. If he would hear, if somebody would suggest he was the Supreme Lord, he would cover his ears. No, how can you say that? So many examples in Chaitanya Bhagavat when the devotees would try to glorify the Supreme Lord Chaitanya, when they finally recognized who he was, because actually Lord Chaitanya appeared as Channa avatar, hidden, covered incarnation. And it took a while before even his devotees, they had asked for him to come, just like Advaita Acharya, he wanted the Supreme Lord to appear because Advaita Acharya observed the symptoms of Kali Yuga, very prominent. He appeared, I think it was 54 years before Lord Chaitanya appeared. And many of the Lord's associates, Advaita Acharya, Nityananda, and Shivas, they appeared before the Lord. The Lord sent them to appear in different places throughout Gauda Desh, to purify those places and to prepare for his arrival that would come later. So all the devotees were there and they were observing that, especially in Navadvip, that many people, they were absorbed in studying scripture, but they never discussed bhakti. The only interest in studying scripture was to engage in argument. That's all. Logic and argument. Although they'd studied Bhagavad Gita, they would always just simply use their scriptural knowledge simply to try to defeat others. And they were not very much inclined to worship the Supreme Lord for devotional service. In fact, they were much more inclined to worship Goddess Chandi for material opulence. And they would have big, large gatherings like this. Very large gathering. But what would they do? They would have large gatherings mostly for weddings and birthdays. Not for Harikatha. That was what the Vaishnavas were observing. That people were just not inclined to gather and to glorify the Lord. They became very disturbed. Some of them became so despondent that they were thinking, we can't do it ourselves. We can't convince them. We've appeared in this world to try to convince them about devotional service, but nobody's interested. They're more interested simply in material gain, material opulence. So Advaita, he was calling. He decided that he would call the Lord to come and to appear, that only if the Lord comes himself and teaches and shows others, only he can possibly deliver the people in this age. So he called the Lord to appear by worshipping the Lord with Ganges water and Tulsi and offering prayers. He assured all the Vaishnavas, I will make the Lord appear. And if he doesn't appear, get ready. If he doesn't appear, I will sever everyone's heads from their body. It's a pretty strong statement. But that was because he understood that he could induce the Lord to appear. He had the power. And the Lord, of course, is very much inclined, especially when his devotee calls him. We were just quoting the verse the other day, Naham tishtami vaikunte yogi nam hridiye shuva tatra tishtami narada yatra gayanti mad bhakta. Where Krishna says, I am not found in the Vaikuntha planets, nor am I found in the hearts of yogis, but wherever my devotees are glorifying me, I go there. What to speak of when Advaita Acharya is calling, please come. Please come. Only you can deliver these fallen souls. So they called for the Lord to appear, but actually, although the Lord appeared, many of them did not recognize. Actually, all of them, because the Lord covered them by his Yogamaya potency. He appeared in a hidden way, and then appeared in Navadvip, and divine appearance, and of course there's so many pastimes we could speak about, his childhood pastimes. But I think what's relevant right now to mention is that although he went through his childhood pastimes and his youthful pastimes, he displayed himself as a very learned, arrogant Pandit, very knowledgeable. As we quoted the verse that Lord Caitanya came to teach real knowledge. But in the beginning when he came, he was manifesting the same symptoms that everybody else was manifesting in terms of their scriptural understanding, only that he was a better logician and argumenter than they were. And he was very much absorbed. He displayed right in his childhood his inclination towards the study of scripture. He memorized everything. He knew grammar. He knew logic. Knew all these things. And then he began gradually engaging in debate and arguing with others and defeating everybody. And even the devotees, when they saw the characteristics of Nimai Pandit, they became so much captivated by his knowledge and by his beauty, but they were also despondent because they were thinking, he's so beautiful, he's so intelligent, he's so attractive. If only he would be a devotee, we would immediately accept him. They were despondent. They were thinking, he's too puffed up, he's too arrogant. Sometimes he would stop his devotees on the street and he would ask them, One time he stopped Mukunda on the street. And he asked him, please explain to me about liberation. Mukunda gave him a verse and gave him a whole explanation about liberation. And then Lord Chaitanya, Nimai Pandit, immediately defeated him. Sometimes he would defeat, and then he would ask them, I said, so now you understand how I've defeated you? You accept? Yes, I accept. I completely accept you've defeated me. And then after, he would say, okay, and then he would take his argument that he used to establish his defeat, and then he would defeat that. And completely bewilder everyone, how he could take these arguments and establish a new conclusion again and again and again. But he did this because he wanted to attract everybody who was absorbed in this mentality. He decided first, I will attract them and make them become my students. I will teach them how to become expert in scripture, logic, and argument. And then, after I've captured their interest, then he began, of course, by the mercy of Ishwar Puri, when he met Ishwar Puri, his spiritual master, when he returned from Gaya to Navadvip, he began manifesting the symptoms of a devotee. And at that time, he began, and all the devotees, when they saw these most wonderful features manifested in the Lord, they began gradually to realize that actually this is the fulfillment of Advaita Acharya's prayer, as the Lord revealed in various ways, gradually to his devotees. Generally he did not. Generally he did not, except one time in the house of Srivas Thakur during the Mahapakash Lila, in the ecstasy of 21 hours, Shataprahariya Bhava, the ecstasy of 21 hours during Kirtan, when Lord Chaitanya was only with his most intimate associates. And during the Kirtan, he began manifesting himself as the Supreme Lord. And what did he do? He stood on the altar. He stood on the altar and he told everybody, okay, now you come, worship me. You may give your offerings to me. When all the Vaishnavas saw the Lord manifesting these symptoms of the Supreme Lord, which had otherwise been hidden, they all very eagerly began collecting so many offerings and bringing them to the Lord. And the Lord, one by one, would take the offerings of his devotees, and he would immediately consume everything. Everything that was brought. Not an ordinary task. Only the Supreme Lord himself can eat unlimited quantities as they brought to him. And even after eating everything, when they realized everything had been consumed and they went out to get more, he would take large quantities and consume it and accept their offerings. And began giving benedictions to all his devotees. So, therefore, as we were saying, although he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he came to teach by his example real knowledge, devotion, his devotional service, and very importantly, detachment from anything that doesn't foster Krishna consciousness. So, as we said, that previously when Krishna appeared, he taught, surrender to me. And if you surrender to me, I'll deliver you from sinful reactions. But when Lord Chaitanya appeared, he took the condition away. He took that condition away. How did he take that condition away? He simply gave. We glorify Lord Chaitanya. He came to freely give devotional service. There's a verse in Chaitanya Charitamrita by Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami. It says, let me offer my respectful obeisances unto Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is an ocean of transcendental mercy. And although the subject matter of bhakti is ordinarily very difficult to understand, He has made it so easily accessible and manifested it so nicely in this age of Kali, the age of quarrel. Caitanya Mahaprabhu, previously it was very difficult to understand bhakti. Not everyone would know. Krishna doesn't give bhakti so easily. Because as he states, he said, when I give somebody bhakti, I have to give myself too. That's the power of bhakti. There's one verse in the Bhagavatam where it states to, I think to Yudhishthira Maharaj, which says, "Oh Yudhishthira Maharaj, I can see that you are very fortunate because not only is Krishna your guru, your God, but the head of your family, but he's also your servant." Krishna became Yudhishthira's messenger, became his servant. He said, Krishna will give someone liberation very easily, but he doesn't give devotional service so easily, because when he gives devotional service, he has to give himself. So it's not such an easy thing to get, devotional service. But when Lord Chaitanya appeared, changed the whole paradigm. He took away the condition of surrender and says, simply take. I'm giving you. Simply take it. Take this holy name. Worship the holy name. Chant the holy name. Teach others about the glories of the holy name of Krishna. That is all. He's just asked, take. So the condition, surrender. Someone may say, well, we hear about this word surrender a lot. I still have to surrender. But he gives first. That is Caitanya Mahaprabhu. He doesn't consider who's fit and who's not fit, who's qualified and not qualified. He makes no distinction. He gives it first. Okay, just take. That is his kindness. That is his mercy. Rupa Goswami says, there's no more Namo Mahavaranyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate. Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gaurdvishaya Namaha. He offers as a basis the Lord Chaitanya, who's the most munificent incarnation, because he's come to freely give what no other incarnation has ever given before. Freely give. So although previously Krishna said, first you surrender, then I'll deliver, Lord Chaitanya says, no, here it is, take. Just take. Take this Mahamantra. That's what he came to give. Enechi o shori maya nashi barolagi harinama mahamantra lao tumi magi. I've come to give the medicine. Take the medicine of the holy name. That is all that is required. And if we simply take, chant even with a little faith, then what happens? Then the Lord is inclined to give more. The only thing that is required is just simply a little faith. Take. But why not? It's so attractive. Chant, dance, and take Krishna Prasadam. This is it. Chant, dance. This is Caitanya Mahaprabhu's movement. Srila Prabhupada said it again and again and again. Chant, dance, and take Krishna Prasadam. So simple. That we make things so complicated. Oh, too many things to do. So many important. Prabhupada tells the story about what was the wife who said to the husband, chant, chant, chant. The husband says, can't. Was it? Something like so simple. That is Caitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy. I've come to teach. How did he teach? He was always absorbed in chanting his own holy names. Vairagya Vijanija Bhakti Yoga. That is Caitanya Mahaprabhu. That is his mission. Therefore, that mission is relevant today. It is available today. It's accessible today. If we simply take advantage of what Caitanya Mahaprabhu has come to give. He's come to give the highest ecstasy. Yuga Dhamma Pravataimo Nama Sankirtan. Chari Bhava Bhakti Diya. Nachamu Bhavan. The highest ecstasy. You can dance and chant in the highest ecstasy. Just take this holy name of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, and make your life successful. Hare Krishna. Bhakti Caitanya Maharaj, you'd like to correct me?
Hare Krishna. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Shrimati Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharne Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarne Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shivasati Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Vanchakalpatrubhyas cha kripas sindubhyevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. How to say it? Kya aap tagya hai? Satyam. You sound tagya. Put your hands in the air. Everyone. Everyone take a deep breath. And everyone say, after me, very loud, but after me. Hare! Louder, please. Hare! Okay, dhanyavad. Not bad. Not too bad. How wonderful. Just sitting with all this nectar pouring over us in the form of transcendental sound vibration. It's amazing. Simply amazing. So wonderful, so beneficial, and one feels it immediately. One time, Srimati Radharani and Lord Krishna were resting in Nidhuvan. Some of you may know of Nidhuvan, some may have been there. They were resting, and Radharani woke up. She'd had an amazing dream. And she told Krishna, I had this most incredible dream. I can't believe it and I can't understand it. Please help me. So I was dreaming. I was on the bank of a river. It was like the Yamuna, but it wasn't the Yamuna. And there were many devotees around. But they were a little different. They looked a little different from the devotees here in Vrindavan. And they were singing and chanting your names. But then, in amongst them, there was this most amazing personality, just completely incredible. Big, tall. Very tall. Very, very tall. And for a moment I thought, oh, it's you. But then I saw, no, it's not you, because your color is blackish, and this person, his color is golden, like me, but it can't be me. And then this person started singing Hare Krishna, and tears were coming from his eyes, and he just became so overwhelmed. So much feeling for you, just like how I feel. And I thought, maybe it is me, but it can't be me. But I've never seen anyone feel for you like this other than me. So what's going on? And then that person started chanting my name in great ecstasy. And I thought, he's you. But no, he's the wrong color. So I'm bewildered. Please tell me, what is the situation? Who is this person? And Krishna said, yes, this is a special personality. This is a special form of me. But I never told you about this form of me before. This is a very special form of me. Then Krishna took out the Kaustubha gem and told Radharani, look into this gem. See what you see in there. So she looked into this gem, and sure enough, it was exactly what she'd seen in her dream. And Krishna said, yes, this is a special form of me. I'm going to appear in the Kali Yuga. In some years, I'm going to appear in Kali Yuga in this form. And like you were thinking, is it you? Is it me? Who is this? It will be both of us together in one form. So I will appear then, and I will distribute our love for us, love for Radha and Krishna to everyone in the Kali Yuga. So this is described by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Yes, very beautiful little pastime. So Krishna came, Radha Krishna came in the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Namo Mahavadnyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishna Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gauratushe Namaha. He came in that combined form to give people what had never been made available before. Love, pure love, Krishna Prema. Pure love for Krishna on the most exalted level. But even to those who are the least qualified. This is Lord Caitanya. There's very interesting description in one of Jiva Goswami's books called Gopal Champu. There's a discussion between some of the gopis and the reciters of that book Madhukanta, Snigdhakanta. They're discussing about Kubja. Kubja, Krishna met Kubja when he entered Mathura. He left Vrindavan, entered Mathura, and met different people. First of all, he met the Dobiwala. My father was a Dobiwala. First of all, he met the Dobiwala, who had so much of Kamsa's clothes, all clean, fresh, nice. And Krishna confronted the Dobiwala. Krishna confronted him in, you could say, like typical bridge bussy, cowherd boy way. Means like, hey, you, Dobiwala. Not so much culture. Hey, you, Dobiwala. Hey, you got such nice cloth. Oh, wouldn't you like to give that cloth to us? Nodding his head as he says that. Wouldn't you like? Dobiwala didn't like. Dobiwala, he is just a Dobiwala. What's a Dobiwala? It's nothing very significant in the social ladder. But Dobiwala, he got very arrogant and proud and who do you think you are, little boy from the forest? These are the king's clothes. How dare you ask for that? How dare you? That's terrible. And Dobiwala said, what you should do, I have the solution for you. Go back to the forest, pick some nice leaves and some bark from the trees, and use that for clothes. That will suit you. That's your style. In other words, this is insult. Insult. You're a nonsense. So, not a good idea to treat Krishna like that. So Krishna, he didn't like that. Krishna gave him one slap. You know, in South Africa we have fairly large Indian community, Hindu community. They speak, you know, sort of a kitchen version of Hindi, some of them. Not really even kitchen, it's more like where they wash the pots or something. It's really poor form of Hindi. And they say, if you give someone a slap, they say, you have given a person a what happened. Anyway, maybe you didn't get that. You got it. He got it. Give him a what happened. So now Krishna gave him a what happened. One good slap. What happened? The man's head fell off. And that was the end of the washerman. Good night, Dobiwala. As we said this morning, Bad Malenge. Actually, in Chaitanya Bhagavat, Lord Chaitanya describes this whole event to his devotees, and he makes the point that actually that Dobiwala, he was not just some Dobiwala, somebody from somewhere. He had been, for many lifetimes, he had been performing austerities so he could see God. Finally, he got to see God face to face. But because he was not a devotee, because he had no bhakti, no devotion in his heart, when he saw God, he offended him. So anyway, Krishna met these different people. The florist, Sudama, and then he met this Kubja, Trivakra. She was not an old woman, but Trivakra. She was, you could say, physically disabled. Her body was bent, like a little deformed. Her body was bent over, like somewhat crippled. Although she could walk, but she was bent over kind of twisted form. She would supply Kamsa, the king, with scented oils, perfumes, sandalwood paste, chandan paste, like that. And she was on the way to the palace with some amount of these things for Kamsa. And Krishna walked up to Kubja and same thing. Hey you! Hey! Hey! Not really hey, just hey! And Krishna said, hey you, beautiful girl. You know, it could be taken as being very sarcastic and not nice. But this is Krishna. You beautiful girl, you look so nice. Wouldn't you like to give us some sandalwood paste for me and my friends? Wouldn't you like to do that? And Kubja, she said, yes, okay, you can take some. So then Krishna did, very amazing thing. Krishna, with his feet, he trod at least like the front of his feet, his toes. He stood on her feet. With his thumb and finger, he grabbed her cheeks. And he jerked her up. Like when someone snaps your back, if you ever had that done. Just like a sudden, out of the nowhere, suddenly, jerk! And she just snapped upright. And on the spot, she transformed into a very beautiful young girl. And now she's there, just like physically normal, so to speak, but very beautiful. Looking at Krishna, who is the epitome of beauty. He is more than the epitome of beauty. He is just beyond conception. Krishna, when Krishna was here, and Lord Caitanya also, so beautiful. Sometimes people would see Krishna, they would faint. Did anyone ever faint when they saw you? One time? Just one person? Not me either. So yeah, Lord Caitanya was so beautiful. Srila Prabhupada, actually Prabhupada refers to Jiva Goswami in one purport. That whereas Krishna, he carried the chakra and he had different weapons. And so he would kill people. He killed many people. Paundraka, the false incarnation. Paundraka, he kind of looked like Krishna to some degree. And he accused Krishna that I am the real Vishnu, Vasudev, and you are just an imposter. Give me back my different items, the symbols, chakra, lotus, club, conch. Give them back. So they met on the battlefield. And they confronted each other, and Paundraka said, give me the chakra now. And Krishna said, oh, you want the chakra? Okay. But you have to catch it. And so Krishna released the chakra. Shoo. Paundraka tried to catch it. Unfortunately, he missed. And it decapitated him. And that was another one, Bad Malenge. So, he would not have made the Indian cricket team. I think Sachin Tendulkar would have refused him. But Lord Chaitanya, he was so beautiful. People would just see him. And then the demon in them means the demoniac consciousness, the attitudes, the whole state of mind, which is what makes a person a demon. Not that they maybe look in a certain way or, Vritrasura. He looked the part. He looked like a demon. But he actually, as a person, he was a great pure devotee. So the essence, when we talk of a person, their consciousness, their heart, who they are, the demon within them would be killed just by seeing Lord Chaitanya's beauty. It's very amazing. So anyway, there was Krishna with Kubja, and now Kubja's looking at Krishna, who's just overwhelmingly beautiful. And Kubja became, apparently, it seems, at least on the surface from the description in Srimad Bhagavatam, it appears she became materially lusty as an attractive young woman for this especially attractive young man. This phenomenon is just too common in material life. So it seemed like that she just wanted to sort of grab hold of him. So some little exchange took place between them. And Krishna told her he was busy. She invited him. Come, O hero. Come to my house and I will entertain you suitably. Krishna said, no, I'm busy. Well, he was on his way to kill Kamsa. So I have something to do. But I will come and see you later. And he did. So the discussion then, back to Srila Jiva Goswami and Gopal Champu, there's this discussion, and it's actually between the gopis, some of the gopis. And Lalita says that it may be one thing, it is one thing, that on the street she was attracted in this way, and Krishna sort of, reciprocated by just speaking in a, could be taken as a slightly flirtatious type of way, entertaining her mood a little bit. But Lalita raises the point, that may be, but why did he go there afterwards? If it was just a question of just a woman attracted to a man and all that sort of thing, why did Krishna go back and spend some time with her? It couldn't be, and this is a very important and in one sense very simple point in Krishna consciousness, it couldn't be just because she had a material attraction and he wanted to reciprocate with that. It couldn't be. After all, you could say Krishna is a busy man. He doesn't really have time to just fool around with materialists in material ways. So Lalita says, it must be that she achieved a level of prema, Krishna prema, pure love of God, just like us. That could be the only explanation. Actually, if one looks in the Bhagavatam commentaries, one finds Sridhar Swami, the great commentator from before the time of Lord Chaitanya, he makes the comment, when Krishna arrives at her place later, going to visit her, he makes the comment that by now, Kubja has achieved spiritual perfection. She's achieved spiritual perfection. So, back then to Gopal Champu. So how? What happened to Kubja? How did she become spiritually perfect and achieve a level of Krishna prema? Lalita, she's a very big personality. Lalita says, a level of prema just like us. So the thing is that Krishna asked her, give us some of your sandalwood paste and other oils. And she immediately said, oh yes, take them. Take them. And that little gesture, small gesture, from this, at that time at least, unfortunate woman in this very unfortunate physical condition, just that little gesture, Krishna was so moved. Krishna was so deeply affected by that little gesture that he gave her pure love for himself. And I think it's Vishaka then speaks and says, yes, it is just like when an extremely merciful person meets an extremely poverty-stricken person. The extremely merciful person becomes overwhelmed by the pathetic condition of the poverty-stricken person. He just becomes overwhelmed to the point he can't control himself. And he becomes controlled by the condition of the poor person and simply reciprocates, giving mercy to the poor person. So Lord Krishna saw what a condition she's in. It is just too much. You know, we can't, as quote-unquote normal physically people, we can't really understand what it means to live a whole life in a physically deformed, physically disabled condition. That's extreme. That is extreme, a whole lifetime. So Krishna took pity on her and accepted that little gesture she made. She didn't even know who he was, and gave her Krishna prema. So Lord Chaitanya, Krishna was like that sometimes. Not all the time. You know, Paundraka, Krishna didn't preach to him or do something. He just gave him special chakra kripa. And many others, they got similar types of treatment and just wiped out by Krishna. Even some of them, like Arishtasura, the demon in the form of a bull, or as Srimati Radharani says, a male cow. So Arishtasura, Krishna punched him, knocked him to the ground, and then kicked him. And Krishna, he's so powerful. One kick, like we saw with the washerman, what happened? And that was the end. Even Krishna just went like that with his finger, you know, little flick. Oh, would have been totally the end of the washerman. But now here's Krishna kicking and kicking and kicking and kicking. Because Arishtasura, he was an offender. Krishna doesn't like offenders. He was an offender. So Krishna kept kicking him and kicking. He was already dead. Maybe after the first punch or the first kick. Finished. Gone. What do you say? Ganga Mai Ki Jai. Ram Nam Satyale. Hari Kanam Satyale. Ready for the cremation ground. But because he was an offender, and Krishna he feels very strongly about people who are offenders. Now Krishna's a person, he also has strong feelings about things. He has different feelings about different things. And when someone's an offender, he really has strong feelings, really strong feelings. So he kept kicking him until Aristasura his body became effectively a lump of jelly. You could not distinguish, what is this? Was it a creature? What sort of creature? Is it just a lump of something? Because Krishna feels very, very strongly, particularly about the offenders. He doesn't like it. So Krishna, of course, on the other hand, you know, Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, they are praying. What to speak of one kick from Krishna's foot? If they could just get one scrap of dust from Krishna's foot, let alone one good kick, that would be enough forever. That would be the perfection of their lives. So in another sense, Krishna was being mercy by kicking and 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 kicking. So it's great mercy, but on the other hand, it's also very severe. Krishna, it's described in the 3rd canto of the Bhagavatam, he has his club, which he uses for beating the enemy, smashing them. And the description there is, when Krishna has smashed some demon and killed them, and there's some blood on the club, afterwards when Krishna goes home, he does not clean the blood off the club. He leaves the blood on the club because he likes later to take out the club and look and see, aha, that was the blood of that demon. Because he doesn't like them, the offenders. He doesn't like it. So Krishna was severe sometimes, very severe with some people. But then sometimes he was merciful. To Kubja, he was merciful. She didn't even know that he's the Lord. She didn't even think, who is he? What is he? Could he be anybody in particular? Or Putana. As Uddhava says, Aho Bhakiyam Stanakala Kutam Chighamsaya Payayad Apyasad Vi. Uddhava is lamenting after Krishna's disappearance. Alas, alas, how will I find someone now that Krishna has gone? How can I find someone who can be merciful to me as he was? I can't. So alas, it is just too much. So Krishna killed Putana. She didn't know he was God. She just had little momentary attraction to Krishna as a child, motherly type of mood. Krishna accepted that. He killed her, but he accepted that motherly sentiment as real, and he allowed her to go back to Godhead. And when you go back to Godhead, we all hope, soon, then you may meet Putana. And she may come up and say, yes, I was Putana. Welcome to Goloka Vrindavan. Even actually Prabhupada makes the point that when food, bhoga, is offered to Radha Gopinath, Gauratai, when food is offered, then the food is benefited. Not only we who eat it, but the food is benefited. At least that aloo, today I don't know what there may be, but maybe there will be aloo sabji, gobi, band gobi, mujhe malum nahi hai. So, but maybe that aloo, which has been offered to Radha Gopinath, Prabhupada says, at least human birth, minimum. And even that aloo may go back to Godhead before you. And when you go back to Godhead, you may meet him. He may welcome you, suswagatam. And he may say, you remember me? I was that aloo on March the 4th, 2012, Chowpatty Mandir. Actually, it's possible. In fact, it is possible. So Krishna was merciful. And Krishna is merciful. Dina Bandho Jagatpate. Krishna is very merciful. And even the killing the demons is merciful, ultimately. Anyway, so that's okay in one sense. But Lord Caitanya, he is Krishna in that mood where the mercy is just overflowing, just uncontrollably, completely. And there's no need sort of to interpret that, yes, well, it was a demon, he was killed by Krishna and purified, so that's nice. So it was mercy even though he got killed. You know, it's a sort of, you could say, interpretation to some degree. But Lord Caitanya is just blatantly, openly merciful. Very amazing. Very amazing. Just like we were in Navadvip, on the Navadvip Parikrama, we went to Surabhi Kunj. I'm sure many of you have been there in the past. And so that is a place from Lord Chaitanya's pastimes, but it also figures in Krishna's pastimes, that Lord Indra, in the Govardhan Leela, he was very offensive. He was just extremely offensive, quite incredible. He tried to kill Krishna. He tried to kill Radharani, Mother Yashoda, Nanda Maharaj, all the cows. He tried to kill them relentlessly for 1 week, just trying to kill them. Then he came to his senses. It's a bit of a long story, but actually, interesting little thing. Srila Jiva Goswami, also in Gopal Champu, he describes how Indra, he went there when all the rain was coming and the storm and everything, and he saw there was no devastation. Rather, Krishna was holding the hill and everything was fine. And so Indra went back home, and Indra was thinking, what is this? How is this happening? This storm is enough to destroy the universe, and it is not even slightly affecting this little area at all. There's not even a puddle of water. What to speak of some massive flood? Tsunami. So what's going on? He was perplexed and confused. He hadn't quite got the message yet, but, some process was happening. Then Srila Jiva Goswami explains, it's very interesting. Then a yaksha came to visit. And the yaksha came in and said, I have been sent by Kamsa. Kamsa and Indra, they're sworn enemies. Kamsa, after all, we should also not underestimate Kamsa amongst the demons. He had defeated Indra. And even Aghasura, who Kamsa had defeated, Aghasura had defeated Indra. So, we're talking about serious demon here. He's the real thing, even on a universal scale, Kamsa. And so he's the leader of the demons, and Indra is the leader of the demigods. They are just total enemies. So this yaksha came as a messenger from Kamsa, and the yaksha said, King Kamsa would like to congratulate you and thank you for the good work you are doing in attacking Vrindavan and this nonsense Krishna. And Indra thought, what? My enemy is congratulating me for attacking Krishna? Now wait a minute, what is this? And so then the messenger went on with this message from Kamsa, that you are just doing such a wonderful thing. We're just so happy with what you're doing. First class work. Just go for Krishna and smash him. And, these foolish bridge buses, if they won't worship you, we will. No problem. You're our man. And then Indra realized, this Krishna, he is not just some, just another Krishna from the next block, because, Krishna is a popular name. In South Africa, I know many Krishnas and many Vishnus and Radhas. These are just common names. In fact, I met one man when I first arrived in South Africa. It's like little over 30 years ago. So I met this man. Oh, what's your name? He said, well, because in South Africa, many of them, they adopt English names for their interactions with the white people. So I asked this man, what's your name? He said, yes, my name is Krishna Gopal Govinda. Well, actually, Govinda, they have sort of adapted it to Govinda. So my name is Krishna Gopal Govinda. And I thought, wow, that's pretty good. That'd be a good name to get from birth. And then he said, but everyone calls me Fred. Anticlimax. Anyway, so much for South African Hindu society. But Indra thought, this Krishna, he's not just that Krishna, from down the road. He is that Krishna from up there. The Krishna, the big one, the real one. oh no, what have I done? What have I done? What have I done? Oh no. And then Indra just became devastated, completely devastated. He is my Lord. He is my Lord, and I've done this to him? Oh no. So Jiva Goswami gives very vivid description that Indra, despairing, overcome with grief, and uncontrollably crying in anguish, resolved to take his own life. He couldn't live any longer. It's too much. My offense is too much. I must just kill myself. It is a little bit of a long story, actually, but Brihaspati, the priest of the demigods, like guru of the demigods, he then came and chastised Indra. You nonsense. You want to commit suicide. You're already worse than dead. So don't waste your time. There's no need to kill yourself. You're already more than finished. You're just washed up, that's it. End of story. So, Indra begged him, pleaded with him, and Brihaspati said, well, all right, go to Brahma. Maybe he can help you. So Indra went to Brahma, and trying to be a little cool, calm, collected, like, I'm not that stressed really, but I just need a little advice. You know, it's not like the end of the world, but just give me a tip. Indra came and said, you know what? I heard you recently offended Krishna. Because Brahma had not long before stolen the cowherd boys and calves. I heard you offended Krishna. Brahma became very serious and said, yes, it's true. Very bad. How foolish. And Indra said, well, funny you should mention it, but I did too. And Brahma said, yeah, I heard about that. And Indra said, well, I don't know what to do. Can you help me? And Brahma said, yeah, you're right. I offended Krishna. It was very bad, and I regret it so much. But it was nothing like what you did. And Brahma told him, you know, I'm sorry, I can't help you. You have to go. So then Indra just broke down completely, and begged Brahma, you have to help me, you must. Please, please. And then Brahma told him, all right, take the Surabhi cow, approach Krishna. As we said, it's a long story. They did that. Surabhi cow went, they approached Krishna, they did the big abhishek. Then at the end, all the demigods left, everyone left, just Surabhi and Indra and Krishna. And Indra approached Krishna, you know, have you forgiven me? Please forgive me. Please tell me. Krishna just looked at him, and Krishna just moved his head. Just go. Just go. Just get out. He didn't even say anything. As they say in American culture, hit the road, Jack. So Indra, in other words, Indra was still feeling bad. In fact, he was still feeling extremely bad. So again he approached Surabhi. Please help me. You're dear to the Lord. You're so dear to the Lord. Please help me. And Surabhi said, all right. You come with me. I will take you to a place. And I will introduce you to a form of Krishna. He is Krishna. He's not another person, but he's a special form of Krishna. And he is especially merciful. And he's in this especially merciful place. And I will introduce you to him. And you approach him, and I'm sure he'll forgive you. So they flew through the universe there to Navadvip, Godrum Dweep. And they landed in that Surabhi Kunj area. And the cow, Surabhi, stood under this big banyan tree, huge, like 15 kilometers across. She stood there and she told Indra, all right, now we are going to invoke, we're going to call for the special form of Krishna to appear so he can give you his mercy. So I'm going to teach you the special mantra. Repeat after me. Okay, are you ready? Put your hands in the air. Take a deep breath. And the special mantra is, after me, very loud. Go! Please, loud. Go! Okay, not bad. Not bad. Getting better. Acha or. So he called out, and Lord Gauranga appeared under that tree. And Indra fell at his feet, and just crying tears, just bathing Lord Chaitanya's lotus feet. And Lord Chaitanya forgave him completely and told him clearly, you are completely forgiven. Put it behind you and go back and carry on with your service. And Indra, it's the same Indra. He is still there now. And it is on the basis of this that he didn't commit suicide, and he is still our Indra. So you see, this is Lord Chaitanya. He is especially merciful. He is very amazing. It is quite inconceivable, actually, the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, giving this process of the chanting of the holy names, which is accessible for everyone. It's accessible for everyone. It's amazing. Even in this Kali Yuga, where people are very unqualified. You know, we mentioned this morning about how sometimes devotees watch television. What's that called? Saas bhi kabhi bahuti. Right. Saas. Be nice to your mothers-in-law. Okay. Saas bhi kabhi bahuti. Choti bahu. So, but what about, what's it called? Dilwale, Dulyanya, Le Jayenge. It's a movie. It is the longest playing movie of all time. what's his name? Raj, right? I never watched it. And I'm not intending to. Raj is the hero. Shah Rukh Khan. So we're not interested. We want Radha and Krishna and not Aishwarya and Abhishek. So it is Kali Yuga. And seriously, it's a disaster. It's simply a disaster in terms of dharma, any dharma actually. You know, just because a movie is Hindi Bash, people think, yay, Hamara Bharatiya Samskriti. This is like culture, just because it's in Hindi. But it's rubbish. Sorry. Satyam eva jayate. But even in this Kali Yuga, Lord Chaitanya is so merciful. Everyone, even someone just not really a devotee, but you know, he's into dharma, he's like big dharmatma. And he does all the pujas and all the different prayers and yagyas. And he knows all the mantras and tantras and yantras. And, you know, he's big Hindu. And he only speaks Shuddh Hindi. Only Shuddh Hindi. But his position is not good. Not good. Actually bad. So Kali Yuga, Maharaj mentioned that verse. Kalo dosha nidhe. This Kali Yuga is simply an ocean of fault. And when you're in the middle of an ocean, doesn't matter. You may be Olympic gold medal swimmer, but you're in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. That's the end. You can't do anything. You can't do anything. This is Kali Yuga. But Lord Chaitanya is so merciful to give us the Sankirtan Yajna. And in this way, deliver anyone. Even, doesn't matter really who they are. Papi, tapi, anyone sinful, serious. He'll deliver anyone. Tar Sakshi Jagai Madhai. The evidence, the proof is Jagai and Madhai. There's one nice story, many of you I would imagine would be aware of it in Mahabharata. Bhima. Bhima is in the palace. This is later, after the battle, if I remember correctly. Bhima's in the palace. Yudhisthira is inside. Bhima's in sort of the entrance foyer before the throne room. Yudhisthira's inside. He's the king. He's receiving the people. Anyone wants to come, they can approach the king. Every day, 1 hour a day, something like that. Anybody. They want to say anything, ask a question, make a complaint. He's available. So there's Bhima just outside the entrance. And one man comes walking in. Oh, problem. Big problem. Bhima says, oh, really, what's your problem? Man says, you know, I have a vegetable garden, and I built a wall around it with stone to protect it so people will not come in and steal the vegetables. But the wall is now moving in, encroaching on the garden. The wall is eating the vegetables. It's meant to be protecting. The wall is eating the vegetables. What's going on? And Bhima said, "Phew, I don't know. Go ask Yudhisthira." So in went that man. Then second man. Problem. What's going on? Bhima said, problem, what's your problem? Said, well, I have a well. I took out some water, bucket of water. I poured it into 5 containers, all the water. Then I changed my mind. I poured all the water back in the big bucket. But now, in the big bucket, there is less water. What happened? Bhima said, don't ask me. Go ask Yudhisthira. In the man went. Then third person. Problem. I don't know what's happening. Bhima asked him, okay, tell me, what's your problem? Man said, well, I have an elephant. We were walking. We walked through a hole. There was a wall, big wall. It had a big hole in it. So we walked through, me and the elephant. And we walked through, but the tail of the elephant got stuck in the hole. Elephant got through with me, but his tail got stuck. I can't understand it. What's going on? And Bhima said, sure, beats me. Go ask Yudhisthira. So in went that third man. Then fourth man came. Big problem. I just don't know what's going on. Bhima, okay, calm down. Tell me what's the problem. Man said, well, I was walking. I was just walking out there somewhere. And I came across this mountain. It's a big hill. It's rock. All these different boulders on top of each other. This big hill made of boulders. And just one little creeper growing out. Nothing else living. Everything else is just all these rocks piled up. And this one little creeper's sticking out. I pulled the creeper out. The whole mountain collapsed. The whole thing just collapsed. Finished. No more mountain. What on earth is going on? It's just this little creeper. What's the story? Bhima said, don't ask me. Go ask Yudhisthira. So in went that man. So now Bhima's waiting and he's wondering, what is Yudhisthira going to tell these people? How to understand all of this? It's amazing, I mean. But nobody came out. So he waited and waited, and Bhima thought, okay, I'm going to go in and let me find out for myself. He walked in. There's Yudhisthira sitting on the throne, alone. Nobody else in the room. And Bhima came and said, where are those men? Did you send them away? Where are they? They didn't come out through the door again. Where are those 4 men? And Yudhisthira said, 4 men? Which 4 men? Nobody came. I've been sitting here alone the whole time. Tell me about these men. Bhima said, yeah, okay, first man, vegetable garden, built a stone wall to protect it from thieves. Now the wall is encroaching on the garden. The wall is eating the vegetables. Yudhisthira grabbed hold of his throne. Said, what? No. Really? Tell me about the other men. And Bhima said, well, okay, second man, big bucket of water, poured it into 5 smaller containers, poured the water back in the big bucket. There was less water. Yudhisthira, more anxious. No, really? I don't believe it. Ah, tell me about the others. Oh, yeah, Bhima said, okay, third man, he has an elephant. They're walking along. They walked through this hole in a wall. They got through, but the elephant's tail got caught in the hole. Bhima jumped to his feet. Yudhisthira jumped to his feet. No! Where are they? Tell me where they are. Catch them, arrest them, get them, stop them. Bhima's just totally bewildered by now. And Bhima said, please tell me, who are they? What are all these stories? What's going on? And Yudhisthira said, they're all personifications of Kali Yuga. But it is not Kali Yuga. It's still Dwapara Yuga. They're too early. We must stop them. They've come too soon. And Bhima asked him, well, can you explain what it's got to do with anything? And Yudhisthira said, the man with the wall, he represents that in Kali Yuga, people, they have a few vegetables, they have a few things, but thieves come and they try and steal whatever you've got. Thieves will come and try and steal. So the government is there, the police force. They're meant to protect you from the thieves. But then they end up stealing from you. And they become the biggest thieves. And then the man with the bucket of water and the other buckets, and then there's less water. Yudhisthira said, this is like children in Kali Yuga. The parents put so much energy and time and money. They invest in growing their children and developing their children. And then the children grow up, and they just go. And that's it. They don't reciprocate. So the parents invest so much, they get less back from the children. And the elephant, his tail gets caught. That means there are so many big fraudsters, criminals, cheats, and they're doing big, big cheatings and briberies and frauds and, cell phone contracts. And if you know that story, I'm sure you must. And things like this. But because they're big people with big money, they can get away with it. Money talks, everyone walks. And some little man, he cheats someone out of some small thing. And he gets caught, and it's in the newspapers. Fraudster caught, criminal arrested. So Yudhisthira said, it's all Kali Yuga. But it's not Kali Yuga yet. They must be stopped. It's too soon. It's too soon. And Yudhisthira said, but what was that, the fourth man? You said there was 4. And Bhima said, right, okay, yeah, well, I don't know what you're going to say about this one. But he said, he was just walking outside somewhere in the countryside. He came across this mountain. It's all these rocks and boulders and just big pile of rocks. And nothing living. Everything finished. Just one little creeper. So what he did, he took the creeper, he pulled the creeper out, the whole mountain collapsed. Finished, gone. And Yudhisthira said, very good, very good. That's wonderful. Yudhisthira said, actually, this is also a reflection of Kali Yuga. In Kali Yuga, there is just, it's like a mountain of sin, bad karma, and it's just horrible. But there's one little good thing, the chanting of the holy names. You just take that and the whole mountain of Kali Yuga is finished. So this is the mercy of Lord Caitanya, and we hope you have a nice festival in a few days. Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu ki. Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu ki. Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu ki.